Hello, can you hear me? What's up? So you said debate any topic? I got you. All right. Ghanaian jollof over Nigerian jollof. Yeah. Ah, okay. Yes, sir, bro. You speak the truth. Let's go. You gotta follow. You gotta follow. Hey, man. No lies ever told, bro. You got it. All right, bro. That's all I wanted to say. Appreciate it. Yeah. You still talking to me? Nah. No. What's going on? Oh, there's a high scrutiny of how he died. Is that what you mean? Oh, okay. I'll look into it, but that's crazy. That's wild. Uh, I got you. I mean, I'll look it up, but like, damn. And then like, how long was his tenure? Oh, okay. Damn. All right. So would you try? So if it was a primary source from the college, would you take it from a grain of salt, or would you like? Okay, I got you. That's wild. Jeez. Did they Was there a cause of death? Because you said suicide, but it was like, was it an OD or that's that's damn. Okay, that's well. Either way, it's a wild situation. Sad too, because like I mean, if it's a if they said suicide, that's bad. But it'd be even worse if they're trying to cover it up as a suicide, though. Damn. All right, but all right, I'll look it up. You got to follow. I got a few minutes. All right. I got you. You watch sports? Okay. You play games? Okay. I got you. Helldivers over Star Wars Battlefront. Oh my gosh! All right, what genre of games do you usually play? Oh, Souls games. Okay. All right. Hmm. Have you played God of War? All right. I can't say the Rafe game anything because it hasn't come out yet, but God of War 3. Okay, I got you. God of War 3 over Ragnarok. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. You said so. Yeah. It's like it's like it helps you get to know the lore, and it's a hack and slash game. You can't really go wrong with hack and slash games. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is it. That's just it. I mean, justified. They forced him to kill his family. I mean, that's the only appropriate response. Okay. All right. You said mostly Dark Souls. I mean, I never played the Dark Souls, so I'm at a loss too. You played Elden? Oh no. I saw what it did to my friend's mental health, and I was like, yeah, you can miss me with that. Not just because of like, well, I mean, obviously the jokes about like, oh, no one can beat Melania, no one can beat Ragon, or I don't know if I'm getting their names right, but it's like Radagon. Yeah, yeah, because it was like. Then I saw the Godfrey gameplay, and I was like, yeah, I understand he's supposed to be like the strong guy, but I've never seen someone like forklift me into the air like that. That was crazy. Yeah, but then yeah, yeah. But then my first experience was watching Tyson Man, and that's what actually sold me. Yeah, it was funny. It was funny. Okay, all right. With my games, what about social media influencers? How about that? Okay, so you know Constable. All right. AMP over Dino Belize. Okay. Man, I'm at a loss, bro. My fault. You think what? Oh, okay. Yeah, essentially, yeah, it needs to. I mean, well, I'm of Christian faith, but even besides that, it's just not healthy because one, you're focusing most all your time on some people that you'll never met before, probably will never see again, and it's disconnecting yourself from other human experiences, and you're just well, sexually abusing yourself. Well, so are you talking about like okay? So when you say pornography banned completely by yourself, well, I'm obviously looking at extremes, but yeah, I'll still say it needs to be banned because my points, but to a lesser degree, I just don't think it has any real purpose besides just uh, delayed gratification. Yeah, because Lord knows people already have very short attention spans, and tied with that, with like instant gratification through like pornography, it's a whole bad problem. What about you? the way I would, the way I would, the way I would put it, pornography would be like on the whole, use or consumption of alcohol. I mean, use for entertainment, use to get like buzz, use it to like a hard day at all. Like I can understand that, but at the same time, alcohol through consumption doesn't really carry any nutritional benefits besides just tasting good and getting that. It's a depression, and so it lowers your body systems. And so too much of it, of course, will lead to bad medical issues, alcoholism, which is a mental health issue, and all of those stuff. So I think the true question would be like you said, it's if it's abused, it's a main problem. But for me, I would just avoid that problem completely because I don't drink. Mm. Well, if that's the case, then I feel like it also stems to a now new pressing issue of like modernity. Because if we're trying to, escape from our, ancestral background, which was like coming from caves, making images which are either used to like document our culture, identify threats, or if I put a pornography in there, I think that's also part of the culture. But then like I said, it's an issue of identity. So why would we continue to maintain that if we're trying to prove that we're more civilized social society? Modernity essentially is moving away from our, lack of a better word, outdated original social norms, which includes technology-wise, uh, civil matters, and overall proves no purpose in today's world. I know it's a very, very bad definition that I'm coming with, but so it's a very broad term. Okay. So the definition I'm looking at is like the social and cultural ideas that came after traditional ways of life. If if your cave, let's say you use your cave painting example was like what we use as like caveman use as pornography. Modernity would be something to move away from something like that. If we're trying to say that pornography back then was a traditional way of life. So the thing is, if we're trying to become modern, shouldn't we step away from that? So, okay, okay. So would you say that if pornography, the use of it is mostly influenced by the market, so then the issue isn't that it's the problem, it's more or less the side effect of unrestricted market influence then, right? Okay. Yeah, because then you'll be infringing on people's rights for, whatever they want, right? Well, because at the end of the day, it's more or less it's people's choice, and I mean, I would say because I don't partake in any of them because for me, I don't want that for myself. But like you said, it is a market, and people will get what they want if there's availability. But but ethics about it, I mean, there's always a conflict between ethics and what science tells us because I even heard it like it's good for men to clean the pipes now and then. I understand that. Yeah, yeah. But um, like I said, a lot of people tend to abuse either if they did use that, they would see that as an excuse. And not saying that's the main reason why people partake of pornography, but many individuals will use that excuse to say, "Bro, I needed to stay healthy" or something like that. But yeah. I think what needs to be done is like there needs to be like maybe a bit more literature, a bit more education, public education for such things because at the end of the day, people who abuse it, I mean, it's a mental health thing at that point. Yeah. I gotta get off, but you've been cool, bro. No problem. I got you. Yep. Yep. Peace.
Hello. I'm doing good. How are you? Yeah. What was the last question? I'm sorry. I feel like I think saying white people can experience racism is the same equivalency to saying men can experience misogyny. When it comes to BIPOC people as the oppressed, we cannot oppress the oppressors. Even outside of America, racism functions the same way. Black, indigenous people of color. So when it comes to race was created to justify chattel slavery, right? And then it was orchestrated into racism, the system of oppression that we have as today. There's no historical context or present day context of BIPOC people placing down any system to oppress white people strictly off them being white. I do think we can be bigots, definitely can be prejudiced, but not racist. Chattel slavery is when white sea people, specifically the Spaniards, were enslaving African Americans, stealing them from Africa, taking them over to America, and they didn't see them as humans. You know, we were seen as cattle, like livestock. Because race was created to justify that oppression. It was King Henry and Gomez Desirara. They have a book, I believe it's called The Guidance of America, and explains how race and racism came about. Guidance of America. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm gonna put it in the wait, not Guineas. My bad. Autocorrect. There you go. I'm probably spelling it wrong. I can also pull it up on the screen. They have free PDFs, and slavery is still legal through the 13th Amendment school to prison pipeline that targets African Americans. White people, they don't have that. You could call white people names and stuff like that, you know. But if Black and Indigenous people and other people of color were just being called names, I don't think we would be talking about racism how we're talking about now. I got you. I'm gonna put it in the chat. I fucked the name all the way up. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say cuss words. Racism is prejudice plus power. You can't hear me? And to the person in the comments who said racism is prejudice, to that logic, right? Prejudice means to make a preconceived notion without prior knowledge. However, BIPOC people, we have historical knowledge of white people. America was not the only not state, country that was colonized. Yeah. Oh, sorry, you're not talking. Who is Dr. Arday? Nah. Mm. Oh wow. Wait, so he unalived the white supremacist?
I'll let you speak, Set.
Bro, I'm so sorry, guys, on the panel. I'm distracted. I'm trying to figure out why the YouTube side of the stream can't hear any audio. It's not apparent to me on my end, but they're saying they can't hear anything, and I can't seem to see it either. So I'm a little bit distracted.
Would it be our privacy settings?
Oh wait. Test 1 2.
Do you think if
I
you
can hear it now. All right, so let's kind of get back. Let's take a step back. All right. So, what was you saying, Alana, and what was you saying, Rap? It's a little bit
He was
distracting.
essentially telling me the lore of the Dr. Arday. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah.
And I was saying that it's not cool, of course, to hear about this, but I'm glad to hear about other places besides just the UK.
Yo, you broke up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I was saying it's maybe cool isn't the right word to use, but it's good to know about other places besides America, like what happens in the UK and stuff like that.
Yeah, legit, I hear that. I find, like, you see, in our modern society, we all have like highly specific or specialized algorithms where it's difficult to hear about anything outside of that. So we curate these like things that are based on our interests, and then the algorithm shows us more things that we're interested in. So it's hard to find out about anything that's outside of your like immediate little bubble. So yeah, I feel the same way in terms of trying to get understanding from what's in the world. Because like this happened in the UK, and I still don't know the full details of it. It's just he say, she say. Even from the media's perspective, it's like, what is the actual truth here? This is why.
Oh, it actually happened?
Okay.
Yeah.
Say again.
Oh, I said, damn, that's why. I don't know why, I thought you guys were talking about prior, like, before, but I didn't know you guys were talking about present time. I'm gonna read up more on that.
Yeah, this is like maybe 2 weeks coming up now, maybe. So yeah, it's pretty mad. But look, one of the reasons why I think it's a PSYOP is because I've never seen such a fast misinformation campaign and like muddying the water. So like muddying the water is basically like you could think of it as a debate tactic, but it's also a propaganda tactic. It's basically like for instance, if you was gonna whistleblow and you was gonna say, oh, like this company's doing this terrible thing, one of the tactics would be to get ahead of you and to discredit you, but put out so much misinformation that no one will be able to tell what is the truth and what isn't the truth. So that's kind of what we've just witnessed go down, and it's still kind of playing out. And given the fact that they're accusing a guy of lying and plagiarism, it's clearly there may be truth to it, like there probably is truth to it, but it's like you've discredited anything he could possibly say in advance.
Yeah,
So,
and I think you said it perfectly. It's like a rapper's album rollout, right? All of a sudden, there's all these clips. Who's funding all these reposts? Who's funding all these stickers? The guy who owns X is what? He pushes a certain narrative as well. So, at the end of the day, you're right, because in any other scenario, this would be tampering with the case, right?
to an extent, yeah.
He wasn't a public figure. They made him a public figure through this case.
Yeah, you
So,
could say that, but no, in a sense that's half true, right? Because
oh,
like post death now we're seeing all of these interviews where he was on platforms, and like if
yeah,
there's one thing we know about British media, like one of our best, or not best, one of our like most prominent tactics is to create celebrities solely just to bring them down, just to destroy them. It's like we put people in crazy compromising
that's
situations, make them say some mad shit, just to have
that's the
something
definition of a
to attack.
psyop, though.
To an extent, yeah. To an extent, and I think one of the big underlying things. One, I think he was going to whistleblow on something because that only makes sense based on the type of discrediting that they're doing. And two, I
Yeah,
think it's a direct, let's say, disencouragement, if you could say that,
yeah.
disencouragement for black and brown people to get into academia. I think it has a lot to do with it, based on the timing as well.
I think I see as a Muslim, I see a lot of campaigns and certain things that get pushed in the media that is so obvious to me right now. It's like um, almost like this controlled narrative that they push in a wave just before something's about to happen. So
Always has been that way.
yeah, that's how they like make us like subconsciously consent to all these wars and stuff, right?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to
And
right there.
exactly, and you described exactly that, but on an academic sense, you can discourage an entire generation from educating themselves through this one action. The entire demographic within a generation.
Yeah, because like, right. So in our country, when's the last time you've seen a scandal play out based on
Never,
education?
never. I've never seen nothing about Cambridge University since ever.
Like again, this may be me existing in the echo chamber, but I think it's important to point out just prior to this. Let me see if I can show you. Say about a month
Do you
ish.
guys have a left and right in the UK?
Yeah, what like political spectrum?
Mm,
Like like there's liberals and Republicans.
Yeah.
mm, yeah,
Oh,
So this
I
story
did.
was like one of the biggest stories prior to the weeks leading up to the Jason Arday situation, and I
mm,
think how this was playing out in the media narrative had a lot to do with what they pulled out
yeah,
next on the Arday thing, and who led the charge on the Arday thing, specifically like racist far right people.
yeah, yeah.
So I think how our country functions,
Mm,
it's it all plays out during the period of time where kids are graduating high school and college, getting their results, thinking about what they're going to go study on a university level.
yeah,
So in my mind, this kind of a scenario playing out based around education is done to deter some people from academia, right? Given the
definitely.
climate of this and this study. That's an
And
opinion.
even that study, the data they used, it's so warped
In
because
this,
yeah, yeah, this inquiry that they had,
mm,
that data could have been seen as, so you know how they said working class, uh, I don't even know if you can say it, but yeah, people of a certain color. When you look at the full data, working class people, I think it was Ghanaian boys, they tested the highest,
mm,
and you could say it's even a worse scenario is you're within those circumstances and you're discriminated against, but they try to flip it and use it like, oh, these people are being educated less.
mm.
Whereas if the results showed that Ghanaian boys were the lowest in totem pole, how would they flip that?
Yeah, it's true. It's like it's I don't know the best way to phrase this. It's like look at this advantage that you have. Right? You have all of this advantage, and yet things ain't working the way they're supposed to work based on the advantage that you have. So there has to
Yeah.
be some way to equalize it, or like not necessarily equalize it, but to put you back in
Mm.
top position. I appreciate you, Alana.
And the idea of the DEI thing, that thought wouldn't have even existed if this wasn't even playing field.
Yeah, like
It's hilarious, man.
there's lots of things I do want to say, but I don't know if I can contextualize it properly right now. I think one of the big things that are playing out in this whole scenario or saga, as I'm going to call it, is the actual a challenge to authority in terms of who gets to say what is what. or like in a more like snooty or highfalutin way, who gets to establish epistemic framing, and what is the history of authority and officialdom? That is like at the base of a lot of this. Why do we hold Cambridge, Oxford, Eton, all these places in high prestige or high regard in the first place?
Yeah.
A lot of that is baked into it. Now you've really got people who believe that, oh, I didn't get into Oxford, I didn't get into Harvard because they hired this black person, right? You've really got people who think at that level. It's just like,
But
there's
it's
a
a
lot to say.
projection. It's a projection of the parameters they put on themselves. Just think of it like this: for a long time, like you said, they almost had a monopoly on the type of people that go to these places, right?
Yeah, still do.
Yeah, they still do, exactly. And now there's people even breaking out of that monopoly through all the disadvantages. Is that we don't want this to look a certain way. Sports is a very good analogy for that. They used to have, like, basketball, and then when the working class people turned up in basketball, when the people of color turned up, they needed a separate league.
Yeah.
Boxing, same thing. Boxing was just like all the smart men, white collar boxing with fisticuffs. And then people like Mike Tyson came and changed the game, and you don't see those people get. Do you know what I mean?
That's true, right? But there's like there's, I think, if there isn't overtly, there should be. There should be. Over time, there's been more of a push towards getting black people into these academic spaces and saying to them, no, look, let them have the sports, let them have the entertainment. Let's go and do this. And there's been so much efforts to deter us from actually being able to do exactly that. It's like they want you to stay in that space of, just easy exploitation. Like, if you watch like far right propaganda and the views on bell curve and IQ and all of this nonsense, it ultimately stems from insecurity about what could be if they can't get control over the whole situation again.
But what could be is also based on a projection of what they already did.
Yes, that is a fact.
So they think everyone else is capable of what they've already done. Like, it's a huge thing. Like, my heritage, where my parents are from, it's a huge thing where what's being enacted on us is to prevent us doing what they did to us.
Yeah, it's the way their system works. It's actually it's a necessity for them to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like, to have I'm gonna say, like, this whole thing is held up by violence on so many levels, right? Obviously, there's a direct monopoly of violence in terms of police and armies and all that. Yeah. But in order for us to capitulate, to say, actually, yeah, Oxford does mean something, Eton does mean something, that has to be enforced by various levels, various systems and levels, and like people basically just agreeing to continue tradition. So, given their current worldview or the way it functions, that violence has to be used both to to suppress people, but also to continue to maintain the power structure as it is. What I'm saying is probably a bit weird.
No, Malcolm X said it. Like the first thing they take from you is books, right? They don't take away your weapons, they took away their books first, because if someone reads, they'll understand.
Yeah.
I'm bigger than the program.
Yeah, but worse than that, we take away the people who can actually publish books.
Yeah.
So then, we decide what can be published and not published. It's the same structure playing out in so many ways. But
I will say a positive spin on this is the fact that they think they need this entire rollout of an ad campaign. Shows you what's on the rise.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Wow, this is interesting. I cover a lot of this. I have like a YouTube channel that covers a lot of these things. Yeah. So when you said, have you ever seen a Cambridge scandal? In my 10 years of doing YouTube, no.
Yeah, I've never seen an education-based scandal. Maybe it's the world that I live in is just not like, what they call them, white people.
Usually all these like weird cases that are like, undeniably bad. I've never seen like a plagiarism scandal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in the academic world, there are a bunch of cases of it. Which is the craziest thing.
But it doesn't get like this media.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a big why. in both ways.
Yeah, true.
It's a big why.
Yeah, a big why.
But yeah,
We ain't even debating. We're just two men agreeing.
yeah. Yeah, in a sense, because look, obviously my brain capacity is like diminished throughout the day. The longer I'm on the internet and not eating food is the more my brain is mush, right? But at the same time, it's still for me too early to really to even be able to put together like somewhat of a coherent analysis because there's too much misinformation.
Mm.
And it's like I have some ideas of what's actually playing out. And one of the interesting questions I was asking myself last night is, what is this going to look like 50 years from now? Are they going to consider Jason Arday like a martyr of a struggle of some kind?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think?
No. I think this entire uh, thing playing out the way it played out is to diminish that freedom.
Explain.
Anyone who's so he was accused of, one case of plagiarism, and he was in court for it. While being in court for it, all these other cases came out. Students, plagiarism from students, all these things.
Is this
I
true?
believe that, yeah. No, I don't think it was true or proven or anything. It was just allegations. I believe the initial inquiry, had it been contained to like how normal plagiarism cases go, then you could argue that he could, some people could believe a narrative. The majority of people believe he's a bad person. He's 100% plagiarized now. Like, whatever comes out in the inquiry wouldn't matter. They've already painted the narrative.
Oh, that's absolutely a fact.
Yeah, that's, and I think, people like Malcolm X, whoever it is, whoever they diminish, right? It's always for a reason, like you said. They're pushing something that doesn't align with what they need to be pushed, and
Yeah.
that's why I get scared, bro.
He's likely in a way. He was likely in the way of something, or he was going to say something that they didn't want him to say. I mean, I know that sounds like conspiratorial, but like in general, our country doesn't tend to care about things like this.
Yeah.
Just
It's the selective outrage that is confusing.
Yeah.
And also, what was it? Towards I forgot now. There's something relevant to this case. Oh, yeah. He was accused amongst other professors, which I didn't even know,
For doing what?
for plagiarism. So the case wasn't just him.
Oh, there's a bunch of people.
Yeah, and those other guys still have their jobs.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was pointing to earlier on. There are other cases of this happening, but it's just not like this.
Yeah, I find it. I don't know why. I think it is the reality of like being Muslim. When I was very young, you have to dispel a lot of propaganda, right? Whatever attack happened in the entire world, I had to answer for it like my uncle did it, like no matter what.
That's fucked
So
up.
yeah,
That's
so
fucked up.
you kind of learn to read between the lines very early. Like, we have people like, Alex Jones, that idiot.
Yeah.
So we'll have
Big
people
idiot.
we'll have people
Oh,
like him
nice.
who act like he's saying the truth. So Iraq didn't have nuclear warheads, etc. He'll say all of that. Then he'll pair it with the Queen and stuff are lizards.
No, well, yeah, that's that muddy in the
It's
water
there
again.
to make rational things look irrational.
Yeah. That's the strategy. They cut my shit off like that. See, you saw that, right?
that was Alex Jones, bro.
They turned the frogs gay.
That was my friend. Yeah, and half of the things he did as well is like people forget about it, but yes, that's
No, but what you're saying is absolutely true. Like, media itself is a psychological weapon. It is a tool of coercion, control, manufacturing of consent, desire, etc. It's like I like to say to people like this, right? Britain is a very small place, right? But the British Empire is massive. Right? How do you think such a small few amount of people managed to dominate so much across the world? It's by mastering the art of psychological warfare. That was how they did it in India, in China, in America, in the West Indies, in Africa. It was mind games. Right, a lot of people don't realise that. You wouldn't have to spread the British Army or the British Navy, to be specific. that thin, as long as you can set up systems of control in various different places. That, you know, like the invention of what do they call it? Yeah, I forget what the tactic's called, but yeah, they clocked it time ago.
Yeah, you even mentioned MGS2, Metal Gear Solid 2. Like a huge part of that was they were creating memories in Raiden's head for him to believe that he was Snake. It wasn't just the
Oh yes.
VR missions. At one point, he was like, "I feel pain too. It's like the real thing."
Yeah, that's true.
It's the truth though. Like we watch all these documentaries, we get desensitized to these things. We play COD, we play GTA, and when something happens in real life, we're a bit less shocked.
Yes, and that is one part of it, the desensitization, but it's also it's like this view of as spectators. Sorry, like all of these. So we were kids probably when 9/11 happened. Don't know how old you were, right?
Yeah.
In our world, in our actual country, that's not something we actually experienced. Right? We experienced it through media.
Yeah.
But
as a Muslim, I experienced it every day of my life. Since...
No, you experienced the aftermath, right?
Yeah.
Based on what we showed through the newspapers, the media, and like political pundits, and you know how people take that ideology and run with that, like what you see with Reform, Restore, whatever political party. But we experienced that event as spectators. Without the TV, without the media, that moment, that event didn't actually occur in our lives. But yet we experienced it as if it was something that we actually saw viscerally, and we was there, and it, you know, everything changed afterwards. But that was them using mass media to basically, like, so the notion, the reference for Raiden, right? Raiden finds out he's inside of AI, right? And the whole scheme is AI. It's a similar thing. They produce a system which is like it's synthetic, but the synthetic system, the construct produces the reality. Right? So usually you would make a construct, a model of reality, and mess about like a game. But how it works in this frame of reference is that you create the construct right first, and the construct produces the reality because people go about playing it out. So everything that precedes 9/11 is based on the construct of it, not the actual event of the reality of it. Right,
the spectacle, the fallout. I agree. A famous Muslim scholar, I forgot his name now, but he was speaking about how even TV is haram, right? And they argued with him for a while. They're like, "What if you're watching this? What if you're watching that?" And he described it like this: "He's like, before the invention of this camera, testimony had more value, and the biggest tool to create mass hysteria."
Bro, you're that.
I'm sorry. They were saying the biggest tool to create mass hysteria before the camera, before anything was recorded, it would have been confined to the amount of people you would see in front of the face.
Or text.
Or exactly. Or how many people the papyrus paper reached. As soon as the printed press, as soon as this media thing started, it's a huge mind manipulation thing where you can get a big group of people to feel a specific way at a specific time.
True.
That's never happened. That's never happened before.
But like the initiation of newspapers and free press was for the people.
Yeah.
But that was the thing, and like remember I said maybe I said it earlier on in the other stream that protesting is actually a containment. Right? It's like a release valve, right?
Yeah.
Free press and newspapers have become a containment as well. It's like they belong to corporations. They belong to like Rupert Murdoch. Fucking Bezos can buy a newspaper. All of these kinds of things. So what was once like the people who go out and like I'm going to report on what these crazy aristocrats are doing and all this injustice over there. The people that they would go to work for to be able to print the stories now dictate what stories can be printed and what reality can be manufactured.
And
so it's been captured, but it was for us initially.
That's a very Western look of the printed press as well, because the printed press in China predated the thing by 150 years. And when you look at their press, it was all about, this astrology sign, I mean, this like event happening, this phenomenon happening, it wasn't this politicized thing. It was literally what you said it was. It was people recording for the people. And then this idea of like the media in this sense is very different. It's controlling the narrative, not
It's creating a narrative.
creating the narrative. That's
Yeah,
very good. Yeah.
it's manufacturing reality through like it's. It, right, the average person, they believe what they see on the TV. They believe what they hear in the news, on the radio. They believe what they just scrolled past just now, right? Like, and this is pre AI, right? This is like pre like bots and shit. Like, our natural like bullshit detectors aren't even that good, just as humans. We like to think they are, but they're not even that good. Okay, so when you think about the average person who hasn't even thought about, you know, could this be a lie? Could this, like, just not even applying critical thinking, basically. Their reality from their politics, basically their ideology, which informs their reality, is being constructed and handed to them. That's that's not to say me and you are free of that as well, because we're
No,
obviously
100%.
not. We're definitely susceptible to propaganda also. Okay, but the thing is, at least you could say there's a level of subversion against mainstream narratives, at least in like most people who are more inclined to look a bit closer. But those people who are more inclined to look a bit closer at things are almost instantly become the enemy of the population.
Yeah.
Because the population is in the groupthink, is in the synthesized version of reality. They're in the simulation, essentially, not in like any weird matrix way,
No, I know what you.
but just like, this is the narrative that we're pushing right now, and you buy it and you spread it and you go out there and you live it, right? So
You know, what I've realized is they'll give the general public a technology, right? Only when they have no way to innovate it anymore, and then the public will innovate it, and then they'll take back that technology. I'll give you an example. You
Social
said
media.
AI. Yeah, social media. You know, you said AI.
Internet. Yeah, go on.
When they gave us the camera, the media, they wanted it to create narrative, to control narratives, whatever, like what we're talking about. But then, why would something like AI be given to our hands? It's to create deniability as well. Now you don't know what to believe. Now
Yeah,
you
that's a
don't.
good point.
There isn't 100% certainty, and I believe that it's 100% fact that they have access to the technologies way before we ever do, right? So
Yeah,
let's say
this is it's like goes back to DARPA and like
Exactly.
space tech and shit like that.
So let's say they've been using this technology all this time and they've used it to the brink. And then they're like, we're not creating any more innovations with it. Let's give it to the public. And then they get us used to it like they did with social media and stuff. And now we're relying upon it. And now we don't know what to do. Now we're actually, it's a never ending thing.
This is true, but that is why they would give us AI at this point in time, right? Is leading us into a social configuration of techno feudalism.
Transhumanism.
Well, transhumanism has interesting parts to it, right? Some bits are okay, some bits are not okay. But like for instance, right, traditional feudalism is like you got monarchy that's like centralized, right? But then you've got these various different pockets in societies or communes where a lord pops up or emerges, and he's like, I'm gonna basically put fences around the communal water, the fields, or right. So it went from putting fences around water and fields and like fruits and veg and shit, right, to then putting fences around industrialization, technology that produces things. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're in the next phase of that, which is putting fences around technology. Okay, so hence why we've got to go to Google, we've got to go to Amazon. Like Amazon Cloud Service runs majority things, right? You would have to go to Elon in some fashions, or Bill Gates
And now
in other fashions.
the hose pipe ban. They're telling us we can't touch water, and there's a technology that needs all this water all of a
Data
sudden.
centers, right?
Yeah.
But like a hose pipe ban is completely unenforceable. The only way they can enforce it is switching off the whole fucking thing. So
Or just making me like spying on you with a helicopter.
no, but that's the same one of the same methods of social engineering. If you read that the newspaper saying the government wants you to do a hose pipe ban and you actually do it, like for instance, if you read that the government wants you to go outside at 8 o'clock and clap your hands and you actually do it, they just literally manufactured your reality like for you.
Yeah,
Like
they did it.
you don't have to clap your hands and you don't have to not use the hose pipe.
Bro.
But you think you do, but based on this like long system of this chain of coercion, where you can't tell the difference between something you have to do or something that they would like you to do.
But what's wrong with my brain that the second they said it's banned, I wanted to use a hose pipe? I don't even have a hose pipe, bro.
Well,
Maybe
I guess. It's like,
I want to
how do you
find my
police
clothes.
that? You're gonna lower the water pressure in the area or something? I don't know.
I just think in a country that rains 90% of the year, you can't tell me we're short on water, blood. The same year you told me
Well,
we
clean
were
water,
short on-
yeah.
the same year they told us we were short on ventilators, they spent billions on fireworks on New Year's Day, bro. So I'm good.
I mean, yeah, like there's truth to what you say, but obviously, government coercion aside, ecology is serious, right? We are
100%.
fucking up the planet. There's no
We are
two ways
wasters.
about it. There's no two ways about it. We're definitely fucking up the planet, but
But I think the hose pipe ban is similar to those people who are protesting about, people of color or immigrants and stuff, while standing next to buildings that don't, like giant skyscrapers that don't pay tax. Like, it's counterproductive. You're just aiming at the wrong person.
But
But
that's what they want, though. This is what I'm saying to you. That is exactly what it looks like.
yeah,
Why would the peasants stay under the thumb of the Lord in the first place? You know? That's exactly what they want.
this is interesting, man.
It's like there's a lot to it, but I do have a sneaky suspicion that the Arday thing is part of something bigger that may or may not see the light coming in the coming years. But I have the suspicion it's a part of something deeper, and not like yes, like racism is definitely involved, right? And there's no two ways about it. But a lot of people are trying to reference it to like the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle type of scenario, right? That's like super surface level.
Yeah.
I think what it really speaks to is that let's just say the ability to establish authority is going to be shifting soon, very soon, with AI and the training data and all of the like ramping far right politics. Something strange is going to happen. Not necessarily like an event, but there's going to be a change for sure.
These technology companies have more money than the entire country's reserves. So there's going to be armies that we don't see. There's going to be
That's true.
there's going to be currency that we don't see, and either they gatekeep all of it to where we don't know until it's too late, or they do it in plain sight, like we're seeing. Like everything is pretty clear to a person who's living right now, reality right now. But everyone's in
You'd
their
be
own
the crazy
algorithm.
one.
Yeah,
You'd be the crazy one. That's the problem, and that's why media is so effective. You would be the crazy one.
Like I just see so many parallels between everything that's happening now and everything that's happened before. That's why I always say, like, people before us were probably a lot smarter than us because they saw a lot of these things in its most basic form.
In what way?
Like how we're talking about something so meta that, if someone joins in the middle of this conversation, they won't understand what we're talking about.
Shit, I don't even understand what we're talking about.
Like this like social engineering thing. But I would say in times where there was no technology or people before us, they probably just saw one guy just chatting bare shit to everyone. He was trying to influence as many people before, like he was trying to say it before someone else said it. Like, like whatever the narrative was. And that's a lot more, you can learn a lot more from seeing that than what's happening right now. A lot of people's eyes will stay closed because of how covert this is.
True. and like that's very important, right? Because one of the most difficult things to explain is something like covert abuse, right?
Mm.
And how our country actually functions, it thrives on covert abuse, right? Not just on like an
Classification.
actual way, but like a psychological way. It's like if you can't, right, so for instance, right, so to say something was to be happening to you covertly, right, and you make it plain, you say it explicitly as it is, right?
Yeah.
The way our system is designed is that the minute you break and say it plain, it's already too late, right? But if you
You're the
just stay
crazy one.
quiet and continue to be abused, it's also too late, kind of thing. So I can't really, man. My brain's not there today to explain what I mean.
We're in the age of misinformation. There's gonna be more blind people. We might think we've advanced, but we've just advanced in manipulating people. That's about it.
Wait, say that again, sorry, I got distracted.
I said we're in the age of misinformation. There's gonna be more blind people than we think. We think we advanced. We just advanced in manipulating people.
That's true. That's very true. Like, you could argue that like we're technically living in someone's like 100-year plan.
Mm. Yeah. It's true.
Technically, we're probably living in someone's 100-year plan, which is creepy and scary.
Our entire nation's GDP is owed to someone, right?
I don't know. That's the first time I've heard that. What do you mean by that?
The banks don't have enough gold to actually pay everyone the money they have, right?
Well, yeah, true. Like gold standard.
Yeah.
got
So
cancelled ages ago.
the finite amount of notes there are is already owed to someone else.
I don't get it.
If the wealth that if the £5 note that I have in my pocket
Yeah.
can't convert to a piece of gold, the gold standard, then who actually owns this £5 note? It's not me, because I don't have the gold. I would never be able to exchange the gold. It's already owed to whoever has the most amount of money in circulation.
I kind of get what you mean, but I don't necessarily view money in that way.
Mm.
So I think of money as literally just like a. But obviously we know it's fiat, it's fake, right? It's just a promissory note, just like a marker for value of some kind.
Money is a means to get wealth, not the wealth itself.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, you could say that. But I kind of get what you mean in terms of like who does the money actually belong to. Then is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if none of us are able to actually cash our checks in, and the bank doesn't have the facilities to give the thing, then who has it? That guy is the one that's in control of every note that's in circulation, or that company, or whatever.
I think that would have been true in the past, because but again, like it's money itself is completely abstract. The value, like the value of a gem or a piece of gold or metal, it's completely abstract.
Yeah.
It's like it fries me to this day to think, right, why is my finite amount of time and energy worth this dollar amount or worth this piece of gold? Or it doesn't actually make sense. But at the same time, what also doesn't make sense to me is how can I say I don't know, this pen is worth the value of 6 of these pens. Like, what permits me to actually say that? That doesn't make sense.
But you know the thing you said about time. Why is your time worth this amount of money? That was the social engineering in the 20s, not even 20s, in the Industrial Revolution times, when they convinced the kids to sit from 7 o'clock to 5 o'clock in a classroom just so they can work in a factory from 5 o'clock to midnight.
That's ill stuff.
Yeah, there's no other reason. Like they said, sit here, we'll educate you.
I think that has a lot to do with Rockefeller, isn't it?
Yeah, before that, people were educating their children.
Partially in some places, but you got to remember that, like, we have this like fantasy about how things were in the past, but really, man, woman, child, and dog, donkey and camel and calf, they were all working. You could only,
100%.
like as a normal type of what was classed as a peasant, right? They were all working, but
they were
class
working
above
on
them,
their reality.
the class above them was afforded education, you know,
Yeah.
to be able to read, to be able to write, to know maths, all kinds of things. That was that was reserved for people who were already extracting resources from that same peasant
And
class.
how do you get someone who's working on that farm in his own home, benefiting his own family, to come work for your company right now? You put him in a classroom where he goes and studies to do something for your company, and now he doesn't benefit his own home, he benefits your companies.
Yeah, that's a fact. That was the other part of it, moving past skilled labor into like
Yeah.
so I can like come up with a document that explains everything about making clothes, a document that explains, or a process that explains everything about making cars. So like I don't need to have specific John who spent his whole life making cars or making clothes. Now I can just get in anyone and say, look, just follow John's process.
That's it.
And now I can pay them even less.
Exactly. And now everything he works on, his own family, his own community doesn't even benefit from it.
Yeah,
It gets shipped somewhere else. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
I believe, like, especially when I see the Middle East, and you know, Yemen has had the longest famine of all time, I believe. It's through sanctions, through different things. But even when I see the people in the most simplest circumstances, the uniting factor, what makes them like a functioning society and stuff, is the fact that it is the entire village that raises them. That boy, who, from the age of like 3 and 4, everyone in his area knows him. Because they are doing acts of labor for people that's benefiting their community. So it has a shared pride. This is our home. And
That's
now,
true.
if you can ship all those people to work somewhere else that benefits someone else, none of those people would ever be prideful of anything they do.
Well, that is fact. Like what you highlighted is a fact. It's like, what is the incentive for the worker to care about the job? It's to care about what we're manufacturing or what the service that we're providing. Because all you've given them is the promissory note. Is that saying, look, come and work for me, and I'll give you some promises, and then you can go buy stuff with the promises.
Yeah.
So yeah, they won't have any like actual interest in the thing, unless again you can convince them that the promise has more value than their time or their village effort, or or other human beings.
And that's us right now.
Yeah, it fucking well is. But we was born into it, so technically we kind of get a pass.
Yeah.
We kind of get a pass.
But I appreciate it. I think the girl, like your last live, the girl that came, she was describing socialism as a society with no money. I think that was like a very simple version of like socialism. You could say like, in that society, at least the people who are doing the hardest work are getting paid the most, but then they fall under the same corruption holes as capitalism does. So either way, as soon as you make a system, people want to gatekeep everything, man.
It's just true. Like I don't think there is any perfect system yet. I think we're moving towards a hybrid. Like what we describe as capitalism now isn't the same thing that probably Adam Smith and Marx were talking about. It's something different. It just has similar elements in it.
They'd call him a socialist now.
Who? Adam Smith?
I'm saying like how further we've gone around the capitalism like wormhole. I don't think we're even close to the beginning of it.
Yeah, it must evolve, or else it can't stick around. It has to. But everyone has this view, like both on the left and the right, that there's like some utopian final point that we're heading towards. But what the fuck is it?
Yesterday's victims is tomorrow's oppressors, and the cycle continues, bro.
Well, yeah, true. Unless you just exit the game. Joke.
Yeah, as a Muslim, not exit the game like literally, but as a Muslim, I do wash my hands with all of that. Like
with vinegar.
I said I wash my hands with all of that.
Oh, I said with vinegar. What?
Certain brothers, they think they can align with the right because they're conservative and I'm Muslim. Certain brothers will be like, I align with the left because these sides of Islam. I believe as a Muslim, nothing fully encompasses everything I believe apart from Islam, and seen the downfall and everything.
Yeah, but Islam is no perfect system either, is it? Like
And
religion,
100%.
religion
And
would ultimately put you on the right side of the political spectrum. That's just how
I
as it functions.
you know what it is? I'm not your traditional Muslim brother. Like,
Yeah, no. So
uh,
this is the thing. Like a lot of people don't really are unable to pass. Right. The critique is
yeah,
about the system of religion.
yeah,
Individuals do whatever they want. Like when you have a conversation with a religious person and they start discussing morality and their understanding of it, I'm like, look,
yeah,
the critique is divine command theory, which is coming from the religion, Christianity,
yeah,
Judaism, Islam. But the individual, right, the individual Muslim, the individual Christian, the individual Jew, they are pulling their morals from all these other abstract places without even
yeah.
knowing it. Because if
I
they
would,
were to do what was said to be done, then they wouldn't be considered suitable for our society at this
yeah,
phase.
I would say the unique claim that Islam makes is the fact that it doesn't claim to be the first. It claims to have always existed, whatever form
Yeah,
during whatever time, and
to me, that's just another, it's just another clever play from
how,
humans.
you can take it how you want. But I mean, in the sense of, so me believing in a creator could be based on my logic, could be based on prophecies, could be based on miracles, whatever, right? That's subjective to me, my subjective criteria. Now, to impose that on someone else, I would have to fulfill their criteria.
What do you
Like,
mean?
to not impose, to influence someone else into my way of thinking, I would have to impose, like, I would have to tick their boxes, like, of what it is to be true. So I'm not in the game of spreading religion like that.
You kind of are by proxy. So
Mm,
you could say whether you're considered a good person, a bad person, or whatever, right? Your
yeah,
deeds, the things you do, express your ideology.
yeah,
Okay, so you don't have to explicitly say, "Oh, look, I'm like, I don't know, I'm egalitarian, liberal, whatever." Right? This is my philosophy. A person with eyes can see what's playing out based on what you think.
you're an ambassador to your religion. Yeah,
Right. So whether
100%.
you're doing good shit or bad shit, or like for instance, the various times that you reference Islam or being a Muslim,
Yeah,
is part of that larger game of creating an in group and an out group. Like you couldn't have an equal
I would.
society with
Yeah,
religion, with political parties. You can't. You can't.
but you know how, like, whether you're Christian, Muslim, whatever, someone would say, if someone's Christian, if someone's not Christian or someone's not Muslim, on the day of judgment they go to hell. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. The reason I don't believe that is because the Quran states everyone's deeds, everyone's bad deeds will be weighed. And for me, regardless of, I've met many people who proclaim to be Muslim
Fucking
who do not
Egyptians
follow
thought
them.
that shit as well.
Exactly, exactly.
What difference does it make? Like I would say the only reason to think to not believe in that is because it's not reflected in reality. Like
That,
that'd be the most sensible reason to not believe in it, in my
my
opinion.
my my personal relationship was the fact that I wasn't born into this. I went through whatever life experience, and it personally helped me, like, in those life experiences, and that I can never project onto others. So, as much as I am an ambassador of it, maybe other Muslims will be like, he's not Muslim, or whatever.
Yeah, that's how it's designed to be, though, right? Because
Yeah,
put it like this: I argue with Christians about like the horrors of Christendom, right? This like the
yeah,
political, religious configuration of Europe for like hundreds of years,
mm,
and I'll say, look, the Papal Bull, Doctrine of Discovery, these are all things that are directly signed by a bloody Pope, and he sent
mm,
people out to do this. Their immediate response would be, well, they're not real Christians because they're going
yeah,
against what it says
yeah,
in the
yeah.
book. That's a fallacy, right? Because you're saying that
100%.
then it's basically a no true Scotsman fallacy. Because you're saying that they're not this thing based on your interpretation of how
Convenient.
you think this thing should be, right? But they're just as much as Christian or just as much as
Yeah,
Muslim or
yeah,
just as much as Jew as you are, right?
yeah.
So it's like
Uh,
people always come up with these kinds of excuses. Like they're constantly searching for who's the pure. On the left they do it, on the right
yeah,
they
yeah,
do it. Right? You're not pure leftist enough, so you're the enemy. You're not pure rightist enough. You're the enemy. You're
yeah,
not
yeah,
pure
yeah.
Jewish enough, so you're the enemy. It's in group out group politics. It's the same shit.
I come from a very Sufi like background, so a lot of us are very open-minded thinkers as it is. and you know that makes you the enemy of people who ain't so open-minded. But yeah, I do believe, like, as a framework for myself, it worked because of my experiences, but it might not translate that way to others. Like,
And look, as a subjective, nuanced thing, I would totally accept that as your like personal testimony or personal experience. But beyond that, I think on a cultural level, on a societal level, that's something you were like, let's say you were predestined to end up in based on your
yes.
cultural leanings anyway. Right? So
Mm.
it's kind of, it's like they have a playbook written out for a guy like me, they got a playbook written out for a guy like you, and it's just whether you can figure out if determinism is real or not, so you can do
I
something
believe
about
in
it.
compatibilism.
That's
I
it.
believe.
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
it's somewhat of a good middle of the road, but I also do think of compatibilism as a cope sometimes. So
Yeah, no, it is a very convenient.
it's a
So
cope.
like
As long as I don't
like
feel coerced, it was my
like
choice.
Mars, you know Mars, right?
Yeah.
So Mars was saying, obviously, what has Islam done, and someone could like easily start pointing out to Andalus, Ibn Sina, like the golden age of Islam, but they will never point to certain other areas. They'll be like, no, they weren't a good representation. That's just convenient. So you're
So they'd
right.
be cherry picking the history.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
all peoples do that. In all honesty, it's no surprise. I had a long conversation with someone about this the other night. Like the things you think and believe about Muhammad are based on what's presented to you about Muhammad. So it's just
Yeah,
it's embedded.
and history is what survived. That's about it. That
Well, kind of and kind of not. Right? At
yeah.
this point in life, I'm more in agreement with the view that history is a polemic. Any type of telling of history is polemical. So it's not
Okay.
necessarily what survived. It's who's spinning a narrative for
Yeah.
what.
Yeah. I would. The same reason they broke the nose of the Sphinx, right?
Well, yeah, you could say that. I don't even know the truth of that matter. All I have is the reports. Is the reports. I don't know the fucking truth.
And the reports is from the people who did it as well. It's like, yeah.
Some say it was structurally deteriorating. Some say that they realized it was niggas. So you decide what narrative matters to you, I guess. Well, as so far as the truth of the situation is, I'm not sure. I'm agnostic to many things, but I know which narrative I'd prefer. Do you know?
Yeah. No, definitely. That's kind of my view on why I'm Muslim. Like, it is, the effects are already visible in myself in whatever way, but at the same time, it is what I prefer. You said it perfectly.
Well, yeah, look, we're all biased. Like, can't escape bias, but leaning into it can be a good thing sometimes. I think, or at least being honest about the bias. And then you can be like, well, look, here's how I can build out of it. But if you just ignore the bias, then it's like, oh shit. This is cognitive dissonance.
Yeah. It's a intentional cognitive dissonance.
It's ignorance.
It's straight up ignorance. But I would say, like, for my example, without getting too personal, something happened in my life where nothing in the world would have took this hate out of my heart. Like, there was,
Factual.
yeah. But it was something where I only had my life planned out for a certain time. Like, I didn't even care about nothing else. And when Islam came, it took it out of my heart. And it is subjective, but there was no amount of family members or anyone that could have convinced me out of the way I was feeling, except for that. And then for me, just learning, I was like, yeah, this aligns with the way I want to live my life.
Currently, but there's nothing stopping you from evolving past Islam. Taking the best bits and moving on. People are allowed to do that. A lot of people think that they have to stay within these cultural parameters. You
Definitely.
don't. Take the best bits and keep it moving.
I read the Bible, like 5 versions of it, bro. Like, I was like so convinced I was gonna be. I was convinced I was gonna be everything, and then, and then I read the Quran, and you know the Quran is very direct about refuting others as well. It's not an ambiguous text. It literally will tell you, these people are this, do this, do that, and for me,
It's a control system, bro.
it is, but at the same time, it was overconfident. It said the first sentence was, "If you find anything to disprove this, then bring it." And I was like, okay, this is like,
That's
I'm-
a
I'm-
trap. That's a trap.
it
It's like,
is.
imagine if I like I was just talking to you about something, right, and the whole time like I had a pen in my hand, right, and the
Yeah.
whole point was to make you avoid looking at the pen, so you focus on what I'm saying instead. It's a trap.
But- but
You're
that-
emotionally engaged immediately. That's just
the
manipulation.
skeptic in me actually attempted, bro. Like I attempted for a long time.
That's what they wanted you to do.
Yeah,
That
I
was
did
the
this-
trap.
I did this with Christianity. I
That
did
was
this
the
with
trap.
I did this with all these books, and then I just left with the impression of, in trying to do that, my life got better, bro. So I was like,
I think. Do you know what I think happened? I think time passed. That's what I think happened.
maybe.
Time simply
maybe.
just passed.
For me, like I was doing it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna disprove this, and then my life got better, and I was like, I'm just gonna carry on, bro.
Oh my gosh, man.
Just gonna carry on. But that's how it works, man. For me, alhamdulillah.
That's terrible, man.
This.
It's fucking
But-
terrible.
But I see the point of like someone who's Muslim or someone who's Christian who's trying to like save people because they believe they have the truth and they believe they're genuinely,
That's dangerous.
yeah, 100%. But they genuinely believe that they're trying to pull someone off a cliff, right? Like falling off a cliff. But I don't see, you can maybe explain this to me. Why is there a phenomenon of people who leave Islam and it's 10 years they've left Islam? They've been atheists for 10 years, but they still call themselves ex-Muslim. Why is that their identity?
Well, it's a part of their cult. It's like it's a part of their identity. Right?
Nah, man, that'll be me calling myself an ex-atheist forever. The hell?
You don't have to, but if you think about the right, so when you start thinking about things like cults and religions and ideologies, right?
Oh.
The reason why these things are so powerful is because they move beyond just being an abstract book, and they your identity is assimilated into the thing. So when someone says something bad about Islam, it's like they're talking about you. When someone says something bad about God, it's like they're talking about your dad.
Yeah.
So that Islam, even though you may move past it, that part of Islam is still a construct of your identity. So you're like rap man post Islam. You're rap man post school, right? These are significant events in your life,
But
or
would you
character
say
defining things.
the motivation for the religious person in trying to convince that person is salvation? So what would be the motivation of the person who left? They just...
Well, you could say that, but one could argue it was always control, right? Because who is to say, right? For instance, right? To believe that a God has a divine plan for everything, right? And to truly believe it, okay, that God is in control of all of these things, there would never be any reason for you to get up off your ass wherever you are and go tell another man about anything. Because you should truly believe that this is all God's plan and it's going to unfold the way
That's how I feel.
he views it, right? But at the point in which you find yourself trying to engage with people and tell them, no, I want to save you, you don't understand, there's sin and there's hell, and you must believe in Jesus, must believe in the lie. But like at the point you're doing that, you've already engaged in cult activity. Like
not believing
you're
he's
not
got the plan.
you're not there for like psychological enrichment at that point. You're there for a team. This is us.
You're right.
And there's
you're
you, right? But if you want to be able to live in this world, which we intend to control, because really this is what it's about, then you need to join us. Right? This is what creates saints and sinners, the heathen and the saved, etc. This is what it's all about. It's politics, really.
But maybe it's nomad in me, bro. Like I reject like nationalism. First of all, I don't identify with both sides. Both sides tell me I'm the other. Cool, that's one thing. And even what you just said, the team side of Islam and this, that, the other. Just now I was on a live, like before, the guy was talking about how he thinks the leader of Iran was a prophet. And I was like, what are you saying, bro? And then he was like, look how he stood up for the Palestinians and the revolutionary acts. And me, I've got personal skin in that game. But I was like, no, that doesn't excuse the atrocities on the other side. Like I'm not blindly believing in one guy because he's a revolutionary on another side and a oppressor on the other. He's funding oppression on the other side. And to him, it wasn't computing. He was like, what do you mean, bro? Look what he done for Palestine. I'm like, bro, I got more personal skin in that war than you, but even then, I'll be like, nah, man, I reject that.
I forget what it's called, but it's not exactly the halo effect, but the, it's just a type of cognitive bias where people just negate all of the negative evidence about something in favor for the positive, even if the positive is minuscule in comparison to the negative evidence. So for someone who begins to view someone in that light of an idol or a prophet or a savior or a messianic figure, there's very little you can say in that moment when they're like fully enthralled emotionally, because it's again, you're to critique that is to critique them.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
what do you mean? So it's like, for instance, calling someone dumb isn't going to make them smarter. Okay,
Yeah.
so at the moment when you're trying to convince someone of a point, and it reduces to, you're just dumb, you're incapable of understanding what I'm saying to you. Now you've made them dig in their heels, and they're gonna go even harder, even if they know they're wrong. It's like, it's just humans, man. We are fucked up.
For me, it's like spirituality and religion. That team side of things doesn't make any sense because it can't be monolithic. It can't be.
Well, it is like that, right? The minute you join a religion, right? So like, think about it in different terms, right?
Mm.
Me sitting at this computer talking to you right now is an opportunity cost, right?
Yeah.
Meaning the time that it takes me to sit here and speak to you means I cannot do something else while I'm doing this. Right? So my allegiance to this event or to this whatever it is we're doing here has already been established. In a similar way, where your allegiance to Islam or following whatever they call them, the tenets, has already been established. So you've chosen a side. Make no mistake about it.
But
right, but within that same side, okay, there's a clear hierarchical structure. Just like if you chose Christianity or you chose Judaism, from the Godhead down to you or to whoever you consider like class-wise less than you or race-wise less than you, there's a hierarchical structure in it.
no one,
and
no
you've
one's
chose
below
the side
me.
already.
Yeah, but I would say my belief, whether there was a label on it, whether I was Muslim, I would have believed those things beforehand. That's how I kind of found Islam.
What do you mean?
So I was looking for something that believes in what I believe, and I would find things that align with it, and then
That was just confirmation bias.
yeah. I would find things that align. I would find things that align with the way I thought, and then there'll be a big contradiction. And then, for me, like I feel like even without Islam, I would have believed what I believed without the label.
Right, so then that stands to reason that the reason you joined Islam is because there's something else to be gained, let's say externally. Because if your internal beliefs are already congruent with the proposed beliefs of Islam, right, you would never have to identify as a Muslim or follow Islam, because you've already got beliefs that you're steadfast to. So the reason you would join is for something else then. Right? And
It's for
one may
something
argue that it's for belonging to an in-group versus the other.
Because I don't, as bad as it is, I don't go mosques. I pray on my own. I don't know what actually drove me to it. It might have been that just specific subjective experience I had that I spoke about before. But
I don't. Well, you didn't really explain it. You was like, it was in a place of a hateful place, basically.
yeah, like injustice happened to a family member, and then I was just for a very long time. I was a very different person to how I am now and how I was before then. And then the only thing that snapped me out of it was Islam, because it was I don't know, it was like a freeing thing for me. It described everything.
I can understand that perspective. Like, there's probably copious amounts of people who have ended up being atheists for the same reason, experiencing or analysing injustice in the world and it not making sense, or being congruent with a God caring about there being a good God anyways, right? So there's probably a bunch of people on the other side of the fence for the same reason. But from an atheist perspective or a believer's perspective, your views on the event that had you feeling hateful or resentful about something, that would only change through time and through information. Okay?
Yes.
But in terms of, like, I don't know how to explain it, right? some people, I was about to go like really like a bit too far, right? But some people need a bosom, right? Some people need a father figure. Right? Some people need a family. Some people need a gang. Some people need business mates or partners. Okay, not many people are able to be self-sustained or self-sufficient in that kind of way emotionally, in terms of emotional regulation or outlets. Not many people can pull that off, if any at all. They might be Buddha then, if I don't know. Okay, but not many people can do that. So in terms of your like you trying to get an understanding of the shit that makes you mad, right? That's one thing. So you go looking for information. The information is what pulls you past your emotions in the first place. But what you may find is like even entering into debate spaces between atheists and Muslims, it's actually a gateway or a doorway to knowledge, to philosophy, to politics, to psychology. It's actually just a doorway to a type of knowledge. But what could happen is you move in search of the information to get away from this emotional turmoil, but now you associate this information you've gained with a new set of emotions. So now you're trapped in another place instead of just continuing on the journey of knowledge. Right?
I get you.
You're now. It's just an
still read
opinion.
so
It's just
much.
an
I
opinion.
still read so much, bro. Like, you'd be surprised, like how even these spaces. There's a lot of people who would come to these spaces, like those debate spaces, and they argue, bro. That's not my game. The way I think of this is like I'm always exploring ideas. The first thing that's told to us, the first word that was ever revealed to Muhammad, peace be upon him, was read. It was read.
It was
It was
what
Iqra.
read.
Yeah, Iqra. He was
That's
repeating.
unfair, isn't it? Considering the guy's dyslexic. Not
He's
dyslexic,
telling
you know
him
what I
to
mean?
seek it. He's telling him, like, it's the Arabic word for seek knowledge, I guess. But it's one of our things,
I'm sorry, bro. That was an unmissable joke. I could have went worse, but I didn't. I kind of controlled that.
say whatever, man. It is, bro.
I'm sorry.
But no, it's alright. I think for me, like, that is the main thing. I always look for knowledge in everything, bro. Even the big, like, people you think you can't get knowledge from, you'll get some of the biggest.
Yes, facts. That's
really
facts. There's something to learn from everyone. Something to learn from everything. But
That's it.
emotions will. Well, look. Emotions are something you don't have control over, right? Just again, here you go. A bit of knowledge about the same thing, right? Emotions are things you cannot control. Your feelings are how you color those emotions. So feelings is what you do have control over. Emotions you don't. So even from the emotions at the time, they may prevent you from being able to engage with the knowledge critically. But even the emotions, the experience of the emotions, is something you can learn from in hindsight. So there's good shit. Well, it's just whether you can get past.
Have you read a lot of scriptures of any religion, anything?
No.
Maybe read some, like, anything, like, doesn't matter what religion it is. It could be Buddhism. Read like.
I've read some stuff about Buddhism. Like they wouldn't be considered scriptures though. Like I don't want to say early in this kind of journey because I still don't even know what how to conceptualize this whole thing, right? But early in my like trying to learn stuff, I started listening to what's called Zen koans. They're not really scriptures, but there's like strange puzzles that like they're like Aesop's fables with like little moral stories. So stuff like that, yeah. Obviously, just culturally, I'm inclined to know some things about the Bible and some scriptures, just because they're well said, they're well quoted.
Yeah.
But it's not like I have right. I'll put it like this, right. I have an ideological inclination to already be against it.
Yeah.
Now, although me acknowledging bias, me being against it would make more sense for me to go and look at it. But me going and look at it is an opportunity cost for something else I'd rather do.
No, you're actually right. You're actually right, because the biggest Islamophobes, they love quoting the Quran more than even me. So
well, yeah, probably because it's like it's easy to defeat something with its source.
I always say, Inshallah, brother, you'll be guided, because
Right?
he's reading it more than me, bro. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna become Muslim.
No, but this is the danger in it, right? There are far right people who have ended up falling into that exact same trap, but like a crazy but kind of disrespectful kind of meme of the whole situation we're describing here is this there was this Hebrew guy, not Hebrew, a Jewish guy, right? He's on these podcasts and shit that they keep having him on. He's telling a story about visiting one of his friends during Christmas time, and he's like, brother, are you like upset about all of these like Christians on Christmas? And he's like, no, why would I be upset? Like on this night there's billions of Christians bowing down to one Jew, right? So there's lots of like fucked up critique inside of the whole thing. Like, yeah, of course you would be happy that this extremist is mugging you off with your own book, because he's engaging with your thing anyway, right? It's like, now you could have that same view about our debate, but my view is to bring something else out of it, right? It's not it's not to get into your world, it's to bring you into my world. Right?
I appreciate you're very honest about it as well, and I think that's why we're having a good conversation. But the ex-Muslim phenomenon, I think, falls into that. I think it's like this. You're always circling back to the thing. You know what I mean? Your entire identity is now based on it.
That might be true, right? But look, something that's quite prominent and not talked about enough is the very real, or you could say the very visceral threat to people who leave Islam and are vocal about it. This is a real recorded thing. A lot of people actually deny this, but culturally, it's not okay to leave Islam and then talk about Islam.
But it's also, in those cultures, it's not okay to be a lot of things that is outside of, right? Like,
but
if you break out the most...
How often do you get killed for it?
Where?
There are
in England?
No, just in general. Like,
it's not as common as you'd like say right now.
One is too many, bro.
No, 100%, 100%.
One is too many.
But like I said, even within those cultures, they get unalive for a lot of other things that we see as normal. And I from what I've realized is, like, sometimes we'll prop these people. Let's say it's an ex-Muslim. He might be just a guy who just was a normal brother, like, that wasn't really practicing whatever, and then he realized he's not Muslim anymore. Doesn't make him a scholar on it. Doesn't mean he's like all of a sudden a philosopher, or they're not a monolith. People leave for different reasons, etc. And the religious trauma side of it, I agree, it's a real thing, but I don't see the correlation being it comes from Islam. I really think it's a cultural thing, and obviously those are kind of inseparable in certain situations.
Well, so like I can't remember exactly what it is. Again, I don't want to get into that kind of whole, Islam says this, Christianity says this kind of shit. But like baked into the ideology is like, once you're a part of this thing, you're not supposed to leave this thing, because it sheds a bad light on the thing itself.
No, there's an actual, like, in the plain Arabic,
I forget what they call it.
It's about a specific time, and it's treason. It's it's
like treason. Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah. But it's someone who's
apostates.
Yeah, but how it's conceptualized right now is like what you're describing. But what it is it's someone who stays within that empire and continues to spread the enemy. And that's not.
Do you see that? But the enemy.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the problem. That's the in-group out-group politics.
But that's in context of a warring nation. Do you understand? That's not in context of now, how you're saying, like, someone who leaves the Islam right now should be even shunned. I don't even think they should be shunned. They should still be living in your house. That's your brother. That's your whatever, But yeah,
so one definition is called a murtad, a traditional Arabic term for a person who commits apostasy. Apostasy is like a standard kind of. Well, apostasy is the general English translation for someone giving up their religion or faith. But to take someone who's decided to leave and then consider them an enemy is something that is baked into the religious context already.
But did you like, within the context of that verse, it can't be spread out to the rest of your way of thinking. It's within context of a story.
No, like, right. So you could say this plays out in the same way in the Christian world or during Christendom. What the book says explicitly is one thing, but the interpretation of what the book says and how that plays out culturally is another thing.
No, 100%. The reality of the situation is, that's why I said culture and religion is kind of inseparable in those cultures.
Religion 100%. Is codified culture.
Yeah, exactly.
It is culture.
Within that, But then for someone, like when I read this, it made perfect sense to within a warring nation, and it was normal to every other nation at the time, an act of treason, someone who's spreading, let's say, who's giving out your military secrets to the enemy army or something, and they're still within your thing. It was capital punishment at the time.
But that should
But that's
that should
really
never
perfect
be
for that.
that should never be good, right? Right. So there is like a historic point of view which a lot of people would disagree on your side of the fence. But the historic point of view is that Islam was actually created to be a political vehicle. Its inception, it was going to be the state politics
For the Arabs.
that part of the world. Because some people argue it's not necessarily Arab world. It expands a bit in different directions. But yes, like the initial inception of it, all of the rules, all of the way of living, all of the standards was literally to help conquer and unite that area of the world and like put an end to what they call it, paganism to an extent. Right? So to bring all these people together, Muhammad himself being a military man, the idea was always political, so it was always going to have culture in it. But the fact that you would see someone as like, oh, we're at war. Therefore, if you exit this like, you know, like it's literally like you described like a firing squad basically. But you're talking about people's lives though. That's the problem.
I mean, if you read the Sirah, which is the biography of the Prophet ﷺ, he wasn't the leader of the Arabs like you're saying. He was actually the
who Muhammad.
At the time he was the
I never
enemy.
said he was the leader. I'm
like
saying
he wasn't the
he was a
unified
military
thing,
figure.
but he was the split. He was someone who's preaching something opposite, which went against all the tribes before him and went against all the tribes that were around him.
Yeah, this is typical for what you would describe as an ideologue. Same thing with Jesus. Same thing with Moses. It's typical, and this is what lends credence to their story for their believers. It's like, but everyone was against this guy, right? So God must have been with this guy. Right?
I mean,
that's the same kind of shit.
Directly responding to the unifying of the Arabs, because I think they were very unified before. They were very unified before, and he came and he changed a lot of things.
I mean, how Islam as a religion plays out, it is literally that. It's a political configuration. If you want to put it like that, I forget the right word to say it.
Yeah.
It's as much of a religion and a way of life as it is a political party
ideology.
or an ideology.
I think
it is just as
Islam
much.
encompasses every aspect of it. So if you're a Muslim, you're a Muslim through and through. Like, you're right. It affects every aspect of your life.
And then you got to consider the monarchy of that side of the world, and then them picking it up and running with it.
Who?
The monarchy of the Middle East, like whatever they.
Nah, we don't do no monarchies, man. I'm from Yemen, blood.
Well, you particularly, but
no, we don't
it's from my understanding that things like the hadiths come out of that mixing of the traditional Islamic teaching and the monarchy.
No, all of it, like some of the earliest manuscripts ever found is in our side of the world, like Yemen, Sana manuscripts and stuff. Those people that you think may have a control over the hadiths that come out and stuff, those people are actually in the job of erasing that stuff. To fit what's their narrative.
Maybe that's some inside politics that I'm not aware of.
It's just mad. It's
likely.
Mad. Bro, we have a city called Sana'a which had skyscrapers made from bricks from the year 700.
Okay.
And those kings that you're talking about, they've been bombarding that place and they still can't get rid of it.
Wait, so that means then Muhammad had context for the whole high buildings prophecy then?
No. He's never been to that side of the world.
Yeah, he doesn't have to go. Like,
nah.
The old world had news travel as well, you know. Like
people, during the time
had like whole
during his time, there was skyscrapers. There was people who were building tall buildings anyway. That's not a claim he makes. Like to say that's something new. I think the Italians, everyone, like all these empires still had high churches and stuff.
Actually, no, that just reminds me. I forget how late Islam is in comparison to Christianity and Judaism.
700 years later.
Is it 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, Christianity is 1500 years after. So yeah, Islam is around that much. Yeah, so a lot of shit is happening. What's up, Solo? How you doing?
Yo, hi. I just saw your title. What's a PSYOP like in this context?
A psychological operation.
Yeah, but regarding the Dr. Arday.
So yeah, it's just a view that how this thing is avalanched so fast, the amount of let's say muddying of the water that's played out so quickly, it would appear that it follows that kind of propagandized type of psyop pattern.
In what manner? Against Arday or pro Arday?
Oh, against for sure, but there's even like, for instance, in the aftermath of the guy dying, there's a lot of people who seek to capitalize off of the event as well. So people who would performatively act like I was always right, I was always on that guy's side, that kind of shit. So both, but in terms of the actual media takedown of it, I think it's part of a larger plan and part of a larger narrative, which is difficult to actually describe.
Okay, that's fair to me. I mean, I've heard about the Arday guy. I wasn't involved in the academic scenes, but it's very odd that how academia is being used to diminish certain people's voices in this context.
Always has, really.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, but
What do you think?
is this like an open space?
Do you think? Oh yeah, sure.
Oh.
You can talk about what you want.
Yeah, what did you want to ask?
What do you think about it? How do you think the situation, or what are your reflections on the situation?
I mean, my picture is that I have experience from dealing with academia, and I have my uncle as well, who also have this experience, is that if you have like a ethnic background or a mixed background and you make it to the top leagues, you'll never be accepted no matter how good you are. Like my uncle, for example, he was part of the team that created 5G, for example, and they never accepted his contributions to it and saw him as lesser because of his mixed ethnic background. So I feel like we still live in a kind of a colonial mindset of like somebody with ethnic background cannot be better. They must have cheated. They must have done something in order to be there.
That's real. I think that's one of the things at the base of all of this. It's establishing who has authority and who controls officialdom.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing if you're a person of color, have a nice car and you drive with it, people start thinking, oh, he must have stolen it, or he must have done something criminal. Like, I have a decent, nice car and I'm mixed background. When I drive with it, it's like I get looks. It's like, what? You didn't expect me to have a decent car, or do I have to drive like an ugly Opel?
Oh,
yeah.
Don't attack Opel. Oh, this is the UK.
No, but it's like where I live, it's like common if you have an ethnic background. Oh, you drive a red Opel.
Fucking hell, that's hard. It's a working class car, right? Produced by hard.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's respectful.
But no, I understand what you're saying in terms of a surface view of academic prowess.
But do you think,
or material realities?
Yeah, but do you think it's getting worse with this kind of racism?
In what way?
Like in a sense that you constantly have to be on your good behavior, or you end up on Tommy Robinson's page.
I mean, look, there's always been an element like that in our society. There's no doubt about it. But it's whether... Alright, so make no mistake. There are people who are specifically vulnerable to that kind of stuff. Right? There's no doubt about it. But what also plays out is people who are well informed about how they think, how they operate, and are willing to do what they do anyway. Right, so maybe you might say Jason Arday might be an example of that. Diane Abbott might be an example of that. Akala might be an example of that. Like Zephaniah, whoever, right, might be an example of people knowing full well what the system does, but living and acting anyway. But in terms of racism getting worse, you're really seeing bots. Right? Bots on the internet and bots in real life. People who aren't actually informed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do think there's an element of that. Many bot farms inflate the issue.
Yeah, but
that could be the
you're
case.
looking at living, breathing, walking bots as well. Not to say that like they're lesser human beings, but they haven't had a tap on the shoulder yet. Does that make sense? Like no one said, "Hey, do you know that this about our country or history, or do you know this about reality? Do you know this philosophically, etc." They haven't had that kind of enlightenment.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
they're in a state.
you're making a point there. I think you're making a good point, like, oh, talk about history and stuff like that. But the thing is, I've noticed, at least dealing with certain people that's on the far right, is they just reinvent history to match their feelings.
Yes,
and
that's
it's
one
just
of the keys of fascism. It's to change the language.
exactly,
It's
and
to change the context.
and it's like, yeah, it's constantly playing catch up, because you're like, where did you find this? They were like, well, it just feels right.
But look, what do you think? Do you think racism is getting worse in the country?
I think numerically, no. I don't think numerically, no. But I think the rhetoric is kind of...
Numerically, in terms of
I
what,
think they're-
racists or racialized acts?
I think more like their rhetoric they're trying to push. But I don't think many are backing it, though. Like, we had the thing over here in Sweden, for example, where they pushed a lot of anti-immigration stuff, but they pushed it so hard that it backfired, and that people that were anti-immigration were like, whoa, wait a minute, we actually don't want this, and they became like pro-immigration again, because they kind of realized where it was heading with this language, with the acts. Luckily, they got a wake-up call, but we're still heading that way anyways.
What played out then? I've not heard about this.
What played out?
What played out? What happened in Sweden?
No, it's just general like ethnic anti-immigration rhetoric that's been going for a long while, and then more far-right voices getting more common. So
But this seems to be a thing across Europe.
yeah,
It does.
but the thing is, it kind of goes against like Swedish logos, like the Swedish history of equality, solidarity, and so when they push this rhetoric, it's kind of also becoming like anti-Swedish tradition at the same time, if you know what I mean.
It does make sense.
So we're a society based on solidarity, equality,
On paper.
a lot of progressive. Yeah, on paper, exactly. On paper.
Our country says the same damn thing. On paper.
Yeah, on paper, but yeah, there isn't a lot they can do legally. No.
So you don't think it's really racism is really rising like that, like in a tangible way? You think it's rising in a different type of way?
No, I think also people need to go outside and see their neighbors sometimes, and when they interact more and touch grass, I think this kind of pent-up sentiment of hate, it just goes away a bit when you hang out with people.
That's true.
I think a lot of people sit inside.
Nah,
When you hang out with your friends.
Alright, they hate us, alright? We all hate each other.
Hey,
We're all against each other, alright?
bro, fix your mic, man. Every time we come on, it's so like mumbled and muffled. It might be your phone case or something.
Brother, it's not my phone case. My phone is just fucked.
It's probably something blocking your mic, bro. It's probably like dirt from your hand.
It's dirt from all my hand, man. It's all that dirt, man. Just been...
It's like grease, chicken grease. I'm joking.
How do you know I eat chicken? How do you know?
Oh, that's why I was funny. That's funny, man. Just fucking with you, bro.
Nah, but like I think like all these elites here, like they're actually winning, car. Like they want us to be against each other, black versus white, Asian versus Indian. They want us to be against each other. They want us to be fighting with each other.
What elites would you say think that?
Like Elon Musk, the billionaires, they want us fighting each other, but not fighting up, like up, class up. You know, like against like the actual rich people. They want us busy fighting each other against my pronouns or LGBTQ things or against race. They want us fighting each other.
That's a fact.
But we never fight against them.
They don't want ascending violence. They just want descending violence, violence or lateral violence. That's a fact.
Yeah, literally.
But only problem is, it's good that you like pointing to someone specifically like Elon. But the only problem is, right, this view of the they, like the big boogeyman they or the elites, is also a type of cope, right? That can be, it could be just plugged in as an excuse. You know, like when people say, "Oh, this bad thing is happening. It's the government." Like the government is just like a nameless, faceless boogeyman. There's no one doing a job or something. That can also be dangerous as well. So I'd say be mindful of that. But Elon was a good example of what you were saying there. He's definitely a good example of hatred.
Literally, he pushes that shit on his X platform. He pushes that stuff a lot. Like the ones that are more hateful and more make people more angry. He pushes them up. He makes them elevate. You get me?
Yeah. So like, no, I'm not saying to have empathy for like a class enemy at that level, but at the same time, he's someone who's on the same platform, ingesting the same bullshit rhetoric, as well, right? So obviously he's not. We're not just going to give him the same leeway as just like random Freddy on his TikTok or on his fucking Twitter on a Thursday afternoon. He has way more impact, so you have to consider that.
Literally.
But he's bought into a certain type of echo chamber, and now he's amplifying it, and not just vocally but financially amplifying it. So that is a very real thing. That is undeniable.
If I might chime in here, I think people had what on the internet people call chud fatigue. Like people are tired of.
What is a chud?
It's like someone was like use a lot of bigoted language, very like called trad person, and someone would just like anti-woke, all of that stuff.
I always thought
And
it was a
because of this,
Chad.
yeah, it's opposite of Chad. But it's like this kind of overreaction to quote unquote woke, which people are tired of, like people doing the thing, this person DEI, this person trans. People are just tired of that. They'll be like, okay, chuds, that's enough. We're tired of this rhetoric.
That's just bigotry, though.
Yeah, like people are tired of hearing about it, and feeling like there's a fatigue towards that.
I think so. I've seen some interesting comments like that. So like you'll see like racist dog whistles, like yawns, or this is boring. Right? The people who express that are literally telling you, "I'm a racist, I'm a bigot," but they're not. They're not able to say it explicitly. So they're saying it coded in an antagonistic type of way. But the reality is they don't actually possess that type of superiority because they're there underneath a fucking video in comments. So it's contradictory. But yeah, I can see why that might be something on the internet. But
I mean, my personal anecdote is like a lot of these people are just lumpenized and have no future, and they have to go to these kind of methods on this, let's call, racial domain to show, oh well, I'm better than you. It's like, bro, you don't have a future, you're doomed. equally doomed as me. Just drop the racial superiority. You're unemployed. Like, let's take it slow.
That's right. So that traditionally or classically, there is absolutely truth in what you're saying, but I think it was like Eldridge Cleaver or something like that from the Black Panther Party, and he had the view that the lumpen proletariat would ultimately end up being the vanguard of the revolution. The chronically unemployed, the drug dealers, the dregs, basically. So one could argue, though that could be said to potentially be a truth on the left, it could also be said to potentially be a truth on the right. Okay, so like those same, like how I refer to them as like bots, those same people are absolutely weaponizable drones to sow discord, to antagonize, to be bigoted, racist, sexist, etc. They're programmable drones, right? They're not necessarily like like I don't think they will really be a leading class or vanguard in that kind of way, but they appear to be effective presently. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I can see that. But for me, I see the right-wing radicalization are just gonna end up like barbaric killer clowns.
Hopefully. Hey, Reed. Well,
Yeah, I mean, that's
not the killer part, but
yeah. But I think I'm not like giving hope completely on right-wingers, but I think the ones who recognize something is wrong but doesn't have the consciousness or vocabulary, I think I can like maybe guide them to the progressive side.
you're like that girl who thinks she could change guys, or good luck. Good luck. I'm joking. Look,
I mean,
you're right.
it's possible.
It is possible. You're absolutely right. You're
I
absolutely
mean,
right.
I try to think about the MAGA crowd, even though some of them are just lunatics. I think some of them recognize something's wrong, but they cannot articulate it, so they have to fill it in with conspiracies because they don't have the language.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you give them the language, maybe they could come to the right quote unquote side.
Not like right. So a part of what you're saying, a part of me thinks that is true, right? And there's hope for some people, but at the same time, you also got to remember, the right also has like a very rich history of right, not only producing their own vocabulary and analysis, but also hijacking progressive leftist analysis and vocabulary. So historically, you could look at it like a historic elastic band. There's been I don't know what's a good example of this. There's been
Mussolini did this.
in what way?
I mean, he was a socialist who stole the ideas of syndicalism but turned it into fascism.
That's a good point, actually. So that is a really good point, actually, right? All I was trying to say is though, like you could say the left or the progressives, they will like stretch the proverbial elastic band or the Overton window on certain issues, and how history goes, right? Those issues that were fringe left, they end up being centre, and then before long they become co-opted by right narrative. Right? So they will have the same vocabulary, but they will just invert it to mean something else, or to display the like literally the opposite ideology with the same concept. Does that make sense? So like maybe a cultural example of how you referenced fatigue. Okay?
Yeah.
The concept of black fatigue was something that was progressed by a left thinker, a female doctor, but it's captured and inverted for right-wing ideological rhetoric. Right? So black fatigue stops being this is a systemic or a structural issue that black people are facing, which whittles them down psychologically, and starts becoming we're just using the same concept to describe that we're tired of you, right? So in many ways they do have the vocabulary, they do have the analysis, they do have the understanding, they just don't give a fuck, right? Sometimes
I mean, I would say that would be like the professional right-wingers. I think they know. Because, for example, like Musk and Thiel and Jarvin, those people, they know everything about socialism, all that. They know it's good. They just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they might well do, but it's right. So you could say there is an elite that is behind things like mimetic warfare, right? But it's not necessarily the elite that sat there on 4chan producing it, right? Or sat
Yeah.
on Twitter producing it. You know, so it is like finding out shit about the deep right wing kind of iceberg shit is only a YouTube click away. It's only a Google away. So in the same sentiment, finding out deep iceberg leftist shit is only a Google away. It's only a click away. Yeah. So chances are people do know, but like I said, like having that optimistic view of yeah, I could actually help people is a good thing. So I'm not against it. It's just consider that
I mean,
there's a level of naivety there too.
I mean, there is of course naivety, but that comes with optimism. I think.
I guess.
I'm not sure. Maybe.
I guess.
But I think maybe because I see things like more, I don't know, dialectical materialism. Eventually, you cannot ignore the contradictions. I don't know.
True. Like, but this is true, right? That is an important part of it, but the contradictions themselves, people are comfortable with existing in that tension anyways, right, in various different parts of their lives. So I don't even know what I want to say at this point, but yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
You know, like I think I know what I want to say, but I can't say it.
No worries.
But shit.
I mean, that's just a school of thought I have, and I don't know, I'm very optimistic, but at the same time, I try to be realistic, but
Yeah, look,
I don't know.
what you said isn't wrong. Okay? It isn't wrong from my perspective. But at the same token, for your
Yeah?
for your thesis, there is an antithesis. Right, so it's a mess. What I want to ask you though about it is, what are your final thoughts on the Arday thing?
My final thoughts, I think Western media is wild as hell. It needs to go. And academia, it needs maltreatment, maybe. I'm just kidding.
Say what? These Mao.
Like a cultural revolution.
Oh, I thought you said something else. Yeah, that's not good either, to be honest.
Oh. To be honest, a lot of glasswares are gatekeepers. I'm just kidding.
So what?
This is a joke I make. Like, I'm also part of this academia thing. I make some research on how to help people with the different ethnic backgrounds to learn the language of the country immigrated. I do research on that, but I make a joke to my my colleagues in uni that us classes were usually gatekeep progression. Like, it's a joke.
Oh, Dave. Short-sighted bastard.
Yeah, it's like it's like we always pretend to be the experts, or we're actually not. Like, we're not the experts. Like, we just happen to stumble upon good things sometimes.
That's fair.
People shouldn't keep academia too high regards, considering these kind of scandals. There's always biases. There's always ideology. Which haven't been rooted out.
So what do you think about AI and sort of the democratization of information?
AI. I had this thinking today, actually. In what regards, in implementation of it, or
in terms of academia, right? Like, traditionally, you would need to do heaps of research, have books and sources. I know there's a lot of misinformation fed into AI, but you could speak on that if you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, as it currently stands, AI seems to be a pathway into into knowledge, essentially, bypassing traditional pathway, put it that way.
No, I think AI can be good. It can be positive, but you need to be very educated to use it. I think so you don't fall into this information traps where you kind of like might just get confirmation biases and stuff like that.
Yeah, got to know how to prompt.
So yeah, you have to have. I remember in uni we had a whole course about AI to make sure like we know what's going on with it, to ensure integrity and other stuff. But I'm AI positive. I don't. Of course, the environmental stuff needs to be taken care of, and the monopolization of it. I think open source AI is better, a more democratic approach to it. But I'm AI positive.
Not,
I think.
not mainstream enough for people to access, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. But I think I'm AI positive. I think it helps people. I think here's the thing: AI with quote unquote stupid people is gonna lead to chaos. But AI with someone who is like on the more competent side is actually very positive. So it's just who has the gun is the question.
So do you think?
I'm not trying to be elitist about it either. Yeah.
Do you think it challenges the traditional academic world?
Does it challenge anything? It kind of gives people access to information which they never had before, but the problem is it will maybe feed their delusions of like, you'll have a doctor here saying, hey, this thing you read on ChatGPT is not true, but then your patient will insist, no, it is, because ChatGPT told me, and then you will have a problem
That's true.
with that.
That is
So
true.
you need to. I think it's good, like it has accessible information, but you should use it maybe to check the weather, stuff like that, or like
Matthew's making good
grammar,
points,
like yeah. So maybe use it to help you with your grammar. Maybe you're stuck with grammar and you need to know the cases, maybe, or something like that. Something like repetitive or menial, but not the serious stuff.
Like, give an example.
Like, don't need it
Law,
to write your freaking essay.
Oh
Yeah, medicine, law.
Yeah, definitely do. Don't want to write your. But I hear that there are AI tools that won't necessarily write your essay, but you could feed it all of your course material and have it work through it in a way that's, let's just say, makes it easier to write your essays.
Like summarize your whole course, or
Well, I can't remember exactly what it was, but someone mentioned it to me one time when we were streaming. It was like you could just use this, but yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying make AI write your essay, but if you was to use it in that kind of way, as like a sounding board or a way to get all of your reference material in one place and then pull from it, I think that's reasonable. But having it actually write the essay, obviously not. There's that.
I think to filter out quote unquote unnecessary work, it can be good. Yeah. To filter out like time wasting work. Well, the actual production, you should be leading it.
Yeah.
The whole production, the editing, all that, but maybe like this fluff, that's called fluff activities can be taken care of AI. That's the whole point of automation AI. It's to take care of like this kind of repetitive, boring, unproductive stuff. Let the AI take care of it.
So do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think it would be more beneficial for society to move past like manual labor and just have AI embedded robots do it instead?
I think that's I think where we're headed. That's the with the kind of rhetoric we're having, I think it will be beneficial for human mental health as well to have more free time to do art and other stuff. So I think we're heading that way, but we need to answer like what I called about the dialectic materialism, the contradictions. Like, so what? So we're gonna have socialism now, universal basic income. So what's up? Like,
Well, yeah, it should,
because this needs to be addressed.
technically.
So this kind of AI progression will kind of force social change,
Yeah.
or the ways the state governs.
Not in an Elon Musky type of way, but yeah, essentially, like if robots end up taking over manual labor, then that should afford society a certain type of universal basic income, realistically. But then the jobs will move to maintenance of the robots, maintenance of the AI, and upgrading of its code and stuff like that. Ideally, it's probably what's going to happen. Kind of like how industrialization moved from the guy was doing the production to the guy maintaining the machine that does the production.
You mean like a drone operator or
Yeah, probably, yeah. For instance,
like
did you
a
did you see
coder?
recently that guy in America, he put up a billboard for his AI, and apparently it wasn't actually an AI, it was just him answering people's queries. So so shit like that
I
will
haven't
happen.
seen that.
Yeah, like there was this thing where this guy, I think he's in California or something like that. But given the way society is now, that could even be a fucking fake AI story. I think the guy's name's Kurt Skelton. I think. Where is it? Anyways.
No, I think AI. People should be more AI positive, but of course, ask the environmental question. But at the same time,
Oh no, it's not.
a lot of golf courses
That's not the right reference.
take a lot of water.
Sorry. Yeah, carry on.
Oh,
That's not the
yeah.
guy that I was talking about. Someone else. It's not the same story.
I do think some. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend liberals, but some liberals be like, "Oh, AI is scary," but at the same time, they're okay with golf courses draining all the water. So it's like, you know, one is a hobby, one is more progressive. I'm not saying we shouldn't make green energy to the AI, but I'm saying like, let's be more real.
I don't even. Look, put it this way, I've not had it explained to me yet why like these data centers need all of this water and energy. I've not had it explained to me yet. I've just heard it said. So I'm not quite sure. Cause I've also
I think
heard that you
it's
can have,
because it's like,
have localized
yeah.
AI that doesn't use up all of this energy. So I don't know what's really going
No,
on there.
I think in the start of these centers, some of them more poorly optimized will drain more on the environment. But I think some places like Microsoft have been doing, they've been like doing more optimized, more effective AI centers, so they drain less. But that's not the case for everyone. But they're definitely being optimized as you're speaking. But the problem is the ones who are not being optimized and who usually are running and creating a lot of these emissions are usually put in poor neighborhoods where they have to deal with all of these emissions and chemicals.
Well, at the minute, I heard that's only really in America. I'm not sure if there's any
and
other
like
places
more,
yet.
in less regulated places, there are like these issues. But I think we'll definitely see more optimized, more energy efficient AI centers, and also that will develop better technology that will take less electricity.
Wait, say that again?
Oh, I said that we probably have more effective technology that won't drain as much electricity, and I think we'll be fine.
Alright, fairs, man. I dragged you through random topics enough. I think we should tie it up.
No, I'm very positive to technology. I'm not technology skeptic, but I noticed this. I don't know if you can. Maybe it's anecdotal, but I noticed there's a bit of AI skeptics more on the women's side from anecdotal. I don't know what's up with that. If this is even real or
In
not,
what
but
way?
like a lot of I did a survey for a small class, mostly women, and a lot of them were scared or very skeptical of using AI. And of course, this with small participants, not many, like 50 participants in the survey, but most of them, 90% of them who responded were females who were like AI skeptic. Um, I don't know, maybe it's not even a gender thing, maybe it's just like people who are not like technically informed in general, both males and women. I don't know.
Well, this is the first I've heard of it. But if like oh, by the way, I just put that guy's name in the chat. It's the guy who did the fake AI
Yeah.
thing. Tucker Bryant. But look, alright. So yeah, it'd be very sexist to like frame it as in like, you know, women are fucking, what do they call themselves? There's people that hate Luddites.
Oh.
Women obviously aren't Luddites, right? But in terms of, if you was to think of how culture moves, men tend
Yeah.
to be more inclined to mess around with new technologies or like computer-based stuff. There's lots of brilliant women in tech space and like STEM. This is a fact. Right? There's probably more
Yeah,
women
yeah.
every day. But if you was just
My
talking,
colleague,
yeah, sure, go.
yeah, my colleague, she's better than me than everything, and she's super brilliant. It's not about putting down women, but I just read an article there saying, with data indicating they're roughly 11% more likely to feel the risk of AI outweigh the benefits.
What was the reasons?
So the reasons is because like related to job security, economic risk.
I think
So
that
11%.
you
more.
may be able to draw a line between that and like middle management and administrational jobs.
Yeah.
I think that might be it. But you're talking about professionals, not necessarily like just, with all due respect, people just sat on TikTok. so,
No, I was on TikTok. It's like read about it.
but yeah, I mean, I guess that does that's at least in my mind, that lends some merit to why women might be more skeptical. But I still think that's still a lot of sexism embedded in that.
No, I wasn't trying to come off
I'm not
that way.
saying
I'm
you are.
sorry.
I'm not saying you are. I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
like how the statistics are playing out. Because
Yeah.
like if you think about, and how we get into a little bit like social theory stuff, but if you think about how patriarchy has basically played out the workplace for women, they've not allowed women historically to be in the lead roles, and you know, they've actively designed workplaces for women to hold administrative jobs, basically just like pencil pushing jobs, and not lead project managers and all these kinds of things. Although we see them more
Yeah.
and more. So if society is still kind of playing out that structure, it makes sense that if we produce a tool like AI now and AI can do those things 10 times faster, who's going to be first at risk? The people who are already on the lower rungs of society based on weird and all those kinds of things.
Yeah. But I don't think, like you said, it's not like it's just women that's gonna get affected. So.
Definitely not. But based on what you said, it makes sense why they might be a bit more inclined to say it.
No, yeah, but I can see that. I can see that in terms of this context, it's possible.
I don't know. What are you collecting data for anyway? What's the study?
The study?
Yeah, you said you was collecting data or you're doing research.
Oh, it was just like in general because I mentioned the AI course we had. Everyone has to take. We're just collecting data for our own university to see like the students, what they think and where they stand, because a lot of it. Because a lot of students also fear that they will get like sent to the disciplinary if they use AI but that's not the case. So we just want to teach them and be like, you don't have to fear AI, but you just need to know what's up and what's going on.
Well, yeah, because university is at a place where they can't stop it now anyway, so they have to integrate it. It's one of those things. It's not
Yeah,
university, the workplace, everywhere is going to be like that eventually. It's like you can't fight against this now. You've got like people literally paying bare money for their employees to go learn about AI when really they just fucking just do a Google search, learn everything they need to know in like half an hour.
yeah, we're just trying to integrate it and not vilify it. Just educate people about it, and
Yeah, no, I hear it. But yeah, I think that's
yeah, we're giving you like
that's the university's their only rational response they could give at this point because they can't stop it, so they have to control the way it's
yeah,
used.
you don't need to be gatekeepers.
But yeah, I'm gonna go get some bad junk food and maybe play some more games, and let's hope that the internet algorithm puts us in a better place next time where we can talk more openly about these subjects without suppression. But
Yeah, this was fun. I like this
it was great having
discussion.
you up, bro.
Yeah,
I think this is the
thanks.
first time I've heard your voice earlier. So
Yeah, I tried to hop in, but I didn't see like where I could join.
it's the little men at the bottom. So for anyone listening in the future, click on the blue and the pink.
Yeah, I'm not like a boomer when it comes to technology. I've just like never joined lives. That's it.
That's fair. That's totally fair. All right. Anyways, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in. I know I should have really dug into the Arday topic a bit deeper, and maybe I will in the coming days. But I'm just trying to get look. I put it like this: there's so much misinformation out there. I don't even know what the real story is at this point. So I don't know. I don't know how best to convey my views on it yet, because there's a lot of misinformation mixed in. So, anyways, we'll discuss this another day. I'll see you later. Innocent of what though is the question. Here, right, so like just here's like a random tidbit for you to take away, right? It is my prediction that people in the near future, very near future, are going to be drawing a correlation between Jesus Christ and Jason Arday. Remember I told you that? Although I'm not going to be one of those people. But remember I told you, I was the first to tell you. I'm joking. But yeah, there's a lot to unpack, bro. But anyways, in a bit.